In a small, peaceful Zen monastery nestled in the mountains, a young monk named Taro struggled with his daily tasks. Taro was bright and passionate, often inspired by the teachings of the Zen master, Ryota. Yet when his initial spark of motivation faded, his focus wavered. One morning, after failing to complete his meditation and chores, Taro approached Master Ryota in frustration. "Master," he said, "I feel motivated when you teach us, but the feeling doesn't last. How can I maintain that spark every day?" The master smiled gently. "Follow me," he said, motioning for Taro to join him outside. They walked to the edge of the monastery garden, where a small bamboo grove stood tall and unwavering. Master Ryota handed Taro a dull axe and pointed to a thick bamboo stalk. "Cut it down," Ryota instructed. Taro looked at the dull axe, perplexed. "This axe isn't sharp enough. It will take forever." "Begin," Ryota said simply. Reluctantly, Taro swung the axe. The blade barely dented the bamboo. Frustrated but determined, he continued. After an hour, his arms ached and sweat dripped from his brow. The bamboo still stood tall. "I cannot do this, master," Taro exclaimed, dropping the axe. "It's impossible without a sharper tool or more energy." Ryota nodded and gestured for Taro to follow him again. They walked to a nearby stream, where Ryota pointed to a smooth rock resting in the flowing water. "How do you think this rock became so smooth?" Ryota asked. "The water polished it over time," Taro replied. "Exactly," Ryota said. "The water does not rely on motivation to flow. It does not wait for inspiration to carve the stone. It flows every moment, steadily and persistently, until the stone is transformed." Taro looked at the rock, understanding beginning to dawn. "Motivation is like a spark," Ryota continued. "It can ignite your journey, but it cannot sustain you. Discipline is the steady current, the flowing water, that carves mountains and shapes your life. Without it, the spark of motivation dies quickly." The next morning, Taro began his day differently. Instead of waiting for the excitement of inspiration, he followed a disciplined routine. He meditated, swept the monastery grounds, and practiced his studies without question or hesitation. Days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to months. Taro's progress became evident. His mind grew sharper, his body stronger, and his tasks more effortless. The dull axe that once defeated him now stood sharpened by his persistent effort, just like the rock in the stream. One evening, Ryota approached Taro as he worked in the garden. "Master," Taro said, looking up, "I think I understand now. Discipline is the tool that carries me forward, even when motivation fades." Ryota nodded with a smile. "Indeed, Taro. Remember, the path to mastery is not traveled by those who wait for fleeting sparks. It is walked by those who carry their lantern steadily, step by step, through the dark." And so Taro continued his journey, no longer a slave to the fleeting nature of motivation, but a master of his disciplined will.